Claudia. So as you guys can see, I'm in a brand new area of my bedroom. I'm in my little reading chair, and that is because today I wanted to do a new type of video for you all. If you guys read my Fearless blog post, if you didn't, I'll link it below. But if you read it, you would know that I set some goals for myself for the year of 2014, and it is my year of being fearless. So one of my goals was to read more books, and I actually wanted to read 2 books a month, which would work out to 24 books this year. And I actually surpassed that goal by a whole book, so I read 3 books for the month of January, and I thought that would be a perfect thing to do a little review for you guys. If you want a little bit more of an in-depth review and a few different things that I didn't talk about in this video, I will link the correlating blog post to this video down below for you guys. I did do a little bit of research on the authors and stuff, so if you want to read it or whatever, you can check out the blog post down below, but I'm just gonna get started with my books. So the first book I read this month is called We'll Always Have Summer, and it is written by Jenny Han, and it's the 3rd book in the Summer I Turned Pretty series. So I really enjoyed this series. I went into it expecting that it would be kind of like a fluff book or a fluff series and kind of just like really easy to read, really funny, really cute. I mean, it's called The Summer I Turned Pretty. I didn't have super high expectations for it. I took it on a trip last year. I wanted a pretty easy read, so I decided to pick up this series, and I ended up falling in love with it. I fell in love with the characters, I fell in love with the plot line, and it is seriously such a good book. It's such a good trilogy. If you guys want to start the trilogy or have started it already, I will put a time right now that you can skip to my next review for my next book if you don't want any spoilers or anything for this book, because it is the 3rd book in the series. Hello to those of you who wanted to find out a little bit more about this book for curiosity's sake, or you've read it, or you have read the other 2 books and you want to know how this book is. So I will start off by reading the back of this book. So it says, if only summer could last forever. Her whole life, Belly has been in love with the Fishers. Susanna was like a second mother to her, Conrad was her first love, and Jeremiah was her first real boyfriend. Jeremiah and Conrad are brothers, TBH. Now after 2 years, Jeremiah gets down on bended knee and offers Belly what she has always wanted, to be Belly Fisher. As Jeremiah and Belly head back to Cousin's Beach, the beach house that they always spend their summers at, the 2 families, as they head back to the beach to plan their wedding, Conrad comes home to tell Belly he made a mistake and he broke her heart. Now Belly must confront her feelings for Jeremiah and Conrad and face a truth she has possibly always known. She will have to break one of their hearts. Okay, I die. Dead. This book basically is super unexpected, and you are waiting till the end to figure out who she picks. Obviously I didn't spoil anything, that's the back of the book, but you want to know the whole time if she's going to marry Jeremiah and go through with it, or if she's going to end up changing her mind and going to Conrad, and it took me really quick to get through for that reason. It is totally a tearjerker, so you're going to need a ton of Kleenex for this book. I cried a lot while reading this. You know in the 1st and the 2nd book that Susanna, Conrad, and Jeremiah's mom ends up getting cancer, and in the 2nd book you know she passes away. And I just cried. I just cried so hard when I read it. You don't want her to die, and she does. So it's hard when you have a character that you fall so in love with, and you know, if you've read the series, that Belly feels that Susanna is like a second mom to her, as it said right there. But it's so hard because that would be a event you would want her at, especially because Belly is like a daughter to her and she's marrying one of her sons. And she ends up writing a letter to Belly and both of her sons on their wedding days, not knowing who was going to get married to who, and you find out who Susanna thinks that Belly is going to marry at the end of everything. So it's just like kills you. But as I said, this book was really, really good. It is kind of a little bit more of a mature she ends up being in high school or university in this book. She graduates high school in the 2nd book, I believe, and then in this book she's in university, so there is a little bit of talk about sex, and I believe there's a little bit of swearing and they're drinking and stuff like that. So it's not a super like clean-cut book, but it is a very, very good book and a very, very good series, and I highly recommend the whole trilogy because it is seriously great. And now I think even if you don't know the series, you're going to want to go find out who she chooses. So 3 books are ahead of you, my friend. The next book I read this January is called Why We Broke Up, and it is a novel by Daniel Handler and with art by Maria Kalman. And fun fact, before I even get into the review of this book, Daniel Handler has a pseudonym, or an AKA, also known as. He's also Lemony Snicket, which I thought was really cool. So as I was researching and Googling for the blog post, I found out that he wrote this series of Unfortunate Events, which were a series I did really enjoy. I didn't know that when I read the book, so I thought that was kind of a cool after-the-fact type deal. So this book is not related to any of those. It's just a solo book all by itself. It's a neat little wrap it up with a bow because it's just a single book, not a trilogy, not a series, none of that stuff. So I really like it for that reason if you're wanting a good book. But basically I will read the book jacket for you. So it says, "This is the box, Ed." There's a box. "This is the box, Ed. Inside is everything. 2 bottle caps, a movie ticket from Greta in the Wild, a note from you, a box of matches, your protractor, Jones book, the stolen sugar, a toy truck, those ugly earrings, a comb from the motel, and the rest of it. This is it, Ed. The whole story of why we broke up." Oh, so obviously that book jacket just grabbed me right away, and I really enjoyed this book as well. I delve deeper in the blog post, so if you want to read a little bit more about what this book is about, definitely check out the blog post. But to sum it up, you kind of know going into it they break up, or you think they break up, or there's someone's breaking up. Someone is not happy with their love life, and someone is not doing great. So it's an interesting book from that perspective, in the fact that you know it's not probably going to have a happy ending. Just by the title. I'm not going to tell you if the title is true or not, because the whole time I was kind of thinking, like, do they break up? You fall in love with their story. Her name is Min and his name is Ed, and she is a arty girl, quotations from the book, and he is the typical jock. And so it's one of those, like, Troy and Gabriella stories from High School Musical. It's basically the same thing, but you don't think that they're going to end up together, and they do. And basically, as you heard from the book jacket, Min kind of tells their whole story through a box of articles and things that she's collected throughout their relationship, which I'm sure every girl out there who's in a relationship does. I know I have 2 boxes now of things that I have from my relationship, so I would be sitting here a long while if I did break up with my boyfriend and was like, hey, by the way, here's all of our stuff back. But it's a very interesting way to read a book from her perspective, and it's written very beautifully. I did find that it was a little bit slow at points, and I got a little bit confused at some points and had to go back and reread and kind of be like, what is happening? I'm a little lost here. So I didn't love that, and a few times I forgot that it was a girl telling the story. Like, it sounded very much like a boy's voice, if that makes sense. So that was a little bit confusing, but overall I really did enjoy this book, and I loved the concept that she was like giving everything back to this guy. And it sucks because you, like I said, you fall in love with their relationship and you're like, they're gonna beat it, this story's wrong, they don't break up, they can't break up. But you'll have to read the story to know if they do break up or not. And it's cool because the art by Maria Kalman is very beautiful and I think quite quirky and fun. But you get to see the article, or the little, whatever you want to call it, the thing that Min is going to talk about and write a letter about, corresponding to why or how they broke up. And I just thought that was a really cool twist. Like, it kind of made you feel way more connected to their story, if that makes sense, because you're like, well, not only am I reading about their love life and their love and their story, but I actually get to see these articles and how they attributed to their relationship and why they broke up. So I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was a very fun read. Again, it was a little bit slow and a little bit confusing at times, but overall, not a hard read. The print is pretty big, as you guys can see, and it's a really good book. I really enjoyed it, so you guys should check it out. Then I recently, as one of my fearless things this year, I got a Tumblr, and if you guys want to go follow me on my Tumblr, it'll be linked down below. But if you guys are on Tumblr, you know and you've seen this book. This is called It by Alexa Chung, and it is like, she might be the coolest person to ever walk the face of the earth. She's just so cool, and I was like, I don't know what the book's about, but I'm gonna buy it because it's pink and I want it, and yes. Basically, this book, I didn't really know what it was going into it, and I liked that aspect because I wasn't let down. I thought it was going to be more of like a biography or a story. It was neither of those things. It was actually just her kind of talking about her fashion advice and her little quirky things about her, her being in the industry, her loves, her relationship advice, things about her mom. Like, it was almost like journal-like, and she has taken all the photographs in the book, and she doodles, so I'm going to try and show you guys right here, but as you guys can see, there's photos and doodles and photos, and then her thoughts. And this book probably took me like 2 nights to get through. You could probably get through it in a few hours. It was really, really quick. It's not super thick either, but it's a great coffee table book. I really love the way it looks. I loved the whole concept of it, and I think it's a great flip through book. I was literally laughing out loud at some of the things she was saying. I was like, I want to be best friends with you, you're hilarious, and I even told my mom to read it. I was like, Vire, you gotta read this book, it's too funny, it's too cute, and she ended up reading it too. So this book I love, I would totally recommend it. It has a little bit of a hefty price tag. One, I think because it's Lexa Chung, and two, the book is kind of made of this like fabric felt dealio, but yeah, it was a great book, and it's very cute and funny and quirky. If you like fashion or random books, like, don't go into it thinking it's a biography, and don't go into it thinking it's a story, because it's neither. It's just kind of a journal-like thing from her, and I really like it, so that is that. So those are all the books I read this January. I am going to do another one of these reviews in February. At the end of February, I'm going to try and be a little bit more on top of it, but because I was in LA for the end of February, or for the end of January, I couldn't really do this review the way I wanted to with the ambiance and all, but I'm going to start doing these, and definitely give me a thumbs up if you like these kind of reviews, if you want more book reviews in general. I'm a huge reader, I love reading, and so I would love to know if you guys want to see more of this on my channel, or you're like, we hate this, don't do this. And again, blog posts and social media links are all in the down bar below. If you like my videos, or you like this video, or you like me in general, I'd love if you subscribed. It would make my day. And I just hit 500 subscribers, so there's going to be a special video coming for you guys very, very soon. So definitely subscribe so you don't miss that. But I hope you guys have a great day, week, month, year, life, day-ness. See what I did there? I'm gonna get going, but I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you very soon with another beauty video or music video. You never know what's gonna come from me. It's probably music or beauty, but this was a little bit of a different thing, so I will see you guys next week, resuming with normal videos. Bye! That was an awkward exit. Should I just leave it like this? It's awkward? It's gonna be awkward for reading. Reading's not. It's awkward. Okay, bye guys.